My name is Grace Russell. I'm an Associate Director of Chemistry at Snapdragon Chemistry, which is a Cambrex company. I went into organic chemistry because I really enjoy solving puzzles, and I saw how you put the molecules together as a puzzle and really trying to make it as perfect as possible and all the pieces fit together in a seamless way. At Snapdragon, we work with a variety of different types of clients. So we work with large pharma companies where we're often developing continuous flow technology to be able to solve their tough problems. We also work with smaller pharmaceutical companies working on their early phase deliveries for their GMP clinical trials. So we start a project, I always like to really dig down with the client and figure out exactly what they want from this process. What are your challenges and how can I develop a process that your needs are met? Then after I understand what your needs are, I can then start evaluating the chemistry and figure out how it reacts to different stimuli and then figure out how we can meld the chemistry with the client's needs in the most efficient way. We had this one particular project, and it was a late phase acquisition from a client, and they were looking to develop their first end-to-end continuous flow process. And they didn't have the equipment, they didn't even have the facility ready. And so it was developing an entirely new process, trying to fit it into the client's manufacturing facility. And so that collaboration was quite extensive in between the chemists, the engineers, our team, analytical, chemistry, process development. And so working all of this to get this late phase, first time end-to-end continuous to the client. We had to go from initial proof of concept of whether this chemistry was even viable. So we did lab scale demonstrations. We think that there's a path forward. Then we brought this data to the clients. We all agreed that it's worth pursuing. We then went into the next phase of reaction characterization, figuring out how to design their equipment. And so this was evaluating the key parameters for the reaction, what are the critical components, and how can we ensure that their scale-up equipment is going to meet the needs with a completely new route, because the route that the client had brought us wasn't going to fit well with a continuous process. We use continuous in this manner. It was quite complex. There wasn't any specific reaction that required continuous flow. Everything could be done in a batch vessel safely. But the one thing that the client was looking to do was to expedite their production by shrinking their production vessels and the plant time. And so this was really a bigger picture continuous project. I think there is a right time and a wrong time to use continuous. Certain things like extremely long reaction times or solids can be very challenging to deal with in a continuous process. There's the easy wins, such as a very dangerous reaction, dangerous intermediate, high energy of reaction. That's an easy win to make to a client of this is going to be very challenging to scale. And so that's clear in a way the right way to do it. Other clients, they want to do this grander vision of fully continuous system. That can be more challenging. You have to see a little bit further into the distance and maybe it'll cost more right now, but longer term, you're going to be making that money back. The process for tech transferring internally to Cambrex is going to manufacturing outside of Snapdragon's capabilities that's limited to the 10 to 20 kilo range. So then whenever the client's looking for that next delivery, we would tech transfer processes most often to High Point, where they can do the next scale up, later phase material development, and then that'll move through the Cambrex network to higher scales. I think the combination of Snapdragon and Cambrex is really exciting because Snapdragon's bringing our new technology. Cambrex has the long-standing US manufacturing and European manufacturing for commercial materials, and they have from small scale all the way to commercial. And so now we have the ability to develop these processes and see it all the way to commercial with the client. What's more rewarding is getting a process that's perfect. You have everything exactly as you want it, the perfect solvent, stoichiometry, everything goes together in this efficient way. And for me, that's like a work of art.